Ian, what's he going on about?
Well, that sounds to me, reading between the lines, as if he's had some discussions with Daniel Levy and maybe the transfer funds he was hoping for to rebuild the team and turn them into a top 4 team, not a top 5 team. Maybe he's been balked in those discussions. He certainly seemed extremely disillusioned. It's unlike him, I think, to bare his soul in that way in front of the journalists who were great with their questioning. But he sounded a little bit like that, unless he's also just reflecting that this gung-ho attacking star, which everybody loved at the start of the season, and they got, 26 points out of the first 30, that he does have to adapt that as well for Tottenham to be more successful than they currently are. But, yeah, I think watch this space. There's going to be more going on there.
I miss happy Postecoglou.
Well, it's very vague in that it wasn't in We Love Clarity on this show, because that's what we give.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But look, you know, he goes into the Tottenham job with his eyes wide open. You know, you're never going to get the biggest budget from Daniel Levy. It's going to be frustrating, and you're going to have to possibly go to markets for players that are under the radar a little bit and a little cheaper. And I'm sure he was aware of that. Also, like he was aware that Harry Kane was probably going to go. So none of these should be surprises. Also, what that might be saying to me is he's seen some stuff from the playing staff as well that he hasn't liked. Maybe down in tools, maybe a little bit.
Right.
Maybe thinking about the rivalry with Arsenal. Maybe, you know, already thinking about the summer holidays when Champions League was still there, even though they were playing Manchester City. It was at home and it was doable. And, you know, Ian's talking about the off-the-field side of it, and that could well be true and might have an impact. And that would have a more worrying impact for me if he's got a problem with that, because that's unlikely to resolve itself. Where he can make a difference is with the playing staff. And maybe maybe he's seen some stuff. And we saw the reaction of Bentancur. We've seen a little bit recently in terms of some of the performances. Maybe he's just seen some things that he thinks, I've learned a lot here. Yeah, the punters are getting on my back, but I've learned a lot that I can't go into next season with 1 or 2 of these, because when we were playing well, or maybe even more than 1 or 2, because when we were playing well, everybody was walking about, strutting about like a peacock. But all of a sudden, recently, for Spurs, it's been a lot tougher, a few more questions coming his way, and he's looking at his players, and he's maybe not getting the reaction or the performances that he's wanted. So now he's thinking, right, it's my backside on the line. He said that, I'm just here to win. And if he doesn't win, he'll be sacked, like every other manager. And so he's now got some decisions to make in the summer. All this squad, some of them have done really well for him, some so-so. And I think he's looking at it now and going, maybe not going to get out of you what I thought 3 months ago. So we need to look at some big changes.
He just seems like a very angry man at the moment. We saw him shouting at the Spurs fans who were cheering.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You don't mind him shouting at the fans?
I'm just saying it's okay to be an angry man. Don't knock it till you've tried it.
I think this is where it all comes to a head, and I'm a little bit more conspiracy theorist about this. I read in between the lines. I'm wondering if somebody higher up in the club doesn't say to him, play the kids against Manchester City. We'll sacrifice what chances we have of finishing top 4. Villa will win anyway, but we certainly do not want Arsenal winning the title. That's certainly what the fans don't want.
Come on, Shaq.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Hold on. The gravitas and the financial side of the Champions League. Come on. There's no CEO. There's nobody in the world is going to say, I tell you what, we don't want to be in with that.
Let's hope not. All I'm saying is let's hope not. Just given Postecoglou's post-game press conferences and body languages we've seen all season long, win, lose or draw, and contrast that with what we see now, I can't help
Shagging off everyone. I didn't think you would be the head of the conspiracy.
I'm going conspiracy theory here. I'm going full conspiracy theory.
10 days in the Grenadines, that's what you come back with. I mean, seriously, come back with that illness again. You come back, not these conspiracies. But that fan that he was having a go at allegedly was piping on from the first minute to the last minute about chucking the game. And maybe, and again, this is not a conspiracy theory, it's just an angle. I wonder if he thought, is this the mentality at this football club? That, by the way, have won diddly squat for how long? Really? Come on, really? How competitive have they been? Pochettino had a little period, Champions League final, had a sniff at the Premier League, we're in there for a little bit. But apart from that, there's been years and years and years they've not been at the races. And yet here we have, rivalry or not, fans talking about chucking games. And maybe he's thinking, I don't care. I just want to win. And that cannot be the mentality in the stands, and that cannot be the mentality in the dressing room.
Sounding a little bit like me, Craig.
Frank, what do you make of it all?
Well, it's hard to analyse what he really meant, because it can go in every ways. But really, I'm with Craig. I really think that it has been disappointing throughout the season because of the mentality of maybe some people on the in the board, maybe some players, certainly some players also, and also the fans. And it's like the mentality has to be changed in order to win something. You have to stop being happy with just, having a good season, but not winning anything. And he changed the way of playing. He started to change the spirit, but he feels that it easily goes back to the same mentality. We're just happy to be there. No more, not too much ambition. And that's for somebody who wants to get something, wants to win, it's impossible to accept. So I really think that he wants to shout something to make sure that next season the mentality will change, and that it will be more capable of changing that and making sure that everybody is going to be on their toes to win something next season.
I just don't get this. If I was a Tottenham fan, right, yeah, I would be a little bit frustrated and maybe disappointed that I didn't pick Villa for fourth. And that's, by the way, the most they could have done, by a million miles, right? They haven't got the squad, right? But if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd have been walking away when they finished this season saying, well, I tell you what, that was bloody fun, that was enjoyable, that was seat of the pants. And actually, I'm looking forward to what this guy might bring next year, because if that's what he's able to do in 10 months, what's going to happen next year? And so I would be looking forward to what Postecoglou may bring. He might not. But there seems to me a lot of negativity around this Tottenham scenario, as if they had the right to be, or even the ability or the depth to be in with Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City. I mean, absolutely not a chance. And for once, the Tottenham fans were entertained and were hanging on to what could have been something way better than they ever thought. And yes, it fizzled, and it has fizzled a little bit, but if you're not a Tottenham fan going away thinking, next year might be quite fun, actually, then I don't know what you're paying your season book for.
Meanwhile, Ian, the results over the last 24 hours means that Aston Villa are guaranteed Champions League football. What an achievement for Unai Emery.
Yeah, fantastic. I don't think they could have dreamt it at the start of the season. Ollie Watkins has done great. They've got a fantastic goalkeeper in Emi Martinez. Again, still really firing. So congratulations, really, to Aston Villa. They built it really on that fantastic home form they had in the first phase of the season. I think they won about 13 at home in a row, and they might have been more than that. Somebody will correct me. But, I was a bit disappointed that they couldn't overcome Olympiacos and get to the Conference League final and win that competition. But they'll certainly take this top four place, and the good times are back at Aston Villa.
Yeah, it was the end of season awards last night. Yeah. That's where Emi Martinez was spraying the champagne.
Have you come round yet?
What?
Coach of the Year?
Oh, Unai Emery's Coach of the Year. Oh,
you've had an evening at home to think about.
Yeah, that's all I thought about. It's Craig got a good point, actually.
Did you sweat on it last night?
No, I didn't give it another thought, to be honest.
Funny enough, me neither.
Ian will be back with us on Extra Time. I didn't put Frank's name on the tweet, so he gets to go home. Well done, Frank.
You put mine on it?
Yes, of course. You're on it.
Could have been off.